What's up guys? So in this video I will be backtesting again the CopyTrader, but this time I will be only doing the high risk and low risk groups. I will take into the account when was the latest copying code was posted, and again from that day I will be doing the backtests. And for confirmational purposes, I will do the same setup but with only one function changed, which is the reversal. Yes, I'm kind of hung up on the reversals. Now I don't really know what kind of goal of this video in particular is. I just wanted to play around with the backtester, so I might as well do it on camera. I feel like I'm gonna squeeze every bit of information out of 1 month of joining the VIP, all for you guys, so you could make as much informed decisions as you possibly can. And the whole purpose of this whole playlist on this topic is basically trying and figure out whether these channels are actually profitable, and if they're not, can we find conditions and setups that we can actually leverage to make money. Now baby, it's cold outside, the winter is coming, and what better way to spend the weekend at the hotel with a cup of coffee thinking about money. And another thing, to keep this video as short as possible without wasting all of our time, I would suggest you to watch the video which I've posted on the Sunday, November 9. It has all the details and the replies from the Antonio. That should give you the idea what's exactly happening in better detail. But to put it shortly, basically each of these groups has the latest code posted on a certain date. So you have to take that into the account when doing the backtest to make sure that the latest code is present for the backtest to get the most accurate results. In my first video when I did the backtest, I did not take this into the account and I got pretty distorted numbers out there. I haven't deleted those setups yet because there is one idea which I have in mind for this month, which I guess I will try to post in the next weekend. That should be very interesting, but it will require some preparations. Now let's jump to my screen and let's get to work. Okay, so here are the setups of my past videos. I really suggest you go ahead and watch those, what happened here, why did this happen, and so on. But anyway, in my previous video I just went ahead, so say I'm gonna start with the low risk. So if you've watched it, what I did, I went ahead to this low risk channel, typed in code, and I have basically checked the dates of all the messages that were posted with this word code. So the latest one was posted on January 5th. So here is the latest code, January 5th, 2025. So I went ahead and grabbed it, copied the selected text. Then I found this specific group in my TS Copier. I clicked the gearbox, clicked settings, and basically imported the code. So I've already done that, which I'm not gonna do this right now. But for the purpose of this video, I'm gonna go ahead and click settings, go ahead to the Pro tab, and make sure that reverse strategy is turned off, because the code originally does not have this setting turned on. So it's off, so it's all good. I'm gonna close this. Again, I'm gonna click the gearbox, type in backtest, click backtest. Now I'm gonna load everything until January 2025. I'm gonna click OK and wait for it to load up. So as I've mentioned, this code was basically posted on January 5th, 2025. So if we go to the backtest setup, we should click the date which we want to start the backtest from. So as you can see, January 5th, 2025, I'm gonna go ahead and click this line as a starting of the backtest. Gonna drop down to the latest, to basically today. So there is this is last Friday. So while holding shift, I'm gonna go ahead and select all of those. Just for confirmation, it says that the last message posted on the low risk channel was November 14th. You can go ahead and double check that. So yeah, November 14th. So this was the last message. So everything is fine. I'm gonna create a backtest. So here is the backtest code with 130 signals identified. I'm gonna click OK, close this, go back to the backtest, and here is my new backtest session. I'm gonna maybe type in something to make sure I will remember. So 16th of November 2025, backtesting video, I'm gonna call it. No reversal. Now what I want to do is go ahead and copy this code. So you will notice the start date is basically the start of the December. I don't know why this is happening, but I've made sure that I personally start backtesting from the January 5th. So again, I'm gonna go ahead and click this code. The code is copied to my clipboard. So in my MetaTrader, I'm gonna go ahead and right here at the bottom right hand side corner, click the tester. First of all, input. So this input is basically the code I've just copied. So I'm gonna delete the last one and paste the new one, just like this. Now if I go ahead and click settings, as I've mentioned before, the start date of this backtest session is basically 5th of January 2025. So that's what I'm gonna start with. So January 5th 2025 up until today, which is basically 16th of November. And I'm gonna leave all market watch symbols. I'm gonna do this backtest with 5-minute candles. I'm using a 100 leverage, so I'm gonna leave it like that. And if everything is correct, I'm gonna go ahead and start. Once this backtest is finished, I'm gonna let you know the results. Okay, so the backtest right now is basically finished. I can already see it's gonna show the negative results. But for the sake of this video, let's continue. So if I go back to my TS Copier and hit this refresh button, you can see that it basically produced negative results. So it is a bit shame, of course, but hey, that's what I was expecting basically. So what I'm gonna do now is go ahead and click back, go to the same group which I've just backtested. Click the gearbox of this low risk which I'm doing right now, edit settings. Now if I go ahead and find Pro tab, I'm gonna reverse this strategy, click save settings. Now again, I'm gonna do the same setup for the backtest. I'm gonna load until January 2025. Okay, I'm gonna again start with the January just to replicate the exact same conditions. Again, we're at the bottom, select the same date range, click create backtest. We can see that again we have 130 signals. Okay, close it. Now let's go back to the backtest, and here is my empty backtest basically. So just to remember, I'm gonna grab the same description I've just did, and I'm gonna put it right here, but instead of no reversal, I'm gonna type in yes reversal. Okay, I'm gonna grab the code. Let's go back to the inputs, insert a new code right here. So the same settings, we're starting with 5th of January up until today, 5-minute candles, 100 leverage. So everything looks the same. I'm gonna start and let's see if we can get better results. Okay, so the backtest is completed. Let's see what we have in the MetaTrader. We have, of course, more red lines than blue, but let's see the results. Did we get a better number? And in fact, we actually did. I remember a few minutes ago, I've just told you the plans I have for the next weekend. I had one thing in mind, but given the results, I think I'm gonna do it right now because it will be a more simple setup. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this second backtest, which came out green at least, and I'm gonna reverse only the lines that only turned red. I'm gonna not reverse the lines that were green. Keep in mind that this second backtest session is overall reversed. So I'm gonna unreverse the red lines and keep the green lines reversed. So let's try that. So it works something like this. So as you can see, we have a red lines of euro against Canadian dollar, Australian dollar against Japan yen, US dollar against Canadian dollar, US dollar against Swiss franc, I think, Canadian dollar against Japan yen, euro against USD, and USD against Japan yen. So I've took the picture of this with my phone. I'm gonna go ahead and click back. Now, if I go ahead to all of my providers and all of my accounts and scroll down right here, so there is a function called signal strategy rules, and it basically works like this. So if I go ahead and click this group that I'm currently testing right now, so the low risk, so the broker symbol. So as I've said, Australian dollar against JPI, okay? Now I'm gonna type all of the pairs that were in red, so hold on. So as you can see right here, I've again selected this group and I've typed basically all of the pairs that came out in red. Now I'm gonna click right here, add, and I'm gonna set a strategy for these exact pairs. So for these pairs, I'm gonna unreverse those. So if I go ahead and click Pro, I can see that the reverse strategy is ticked. So I'm gonna uncheck it. I'm gonna go ahead and save. Okay, by the way, I'm doing for the first time this, so I'm not even sure what kind of results I will be getting, but hey, let's try that. Again, I'm gonna do the same backtesting session, load until January 2025. I'm gonna start 5th of January again for the same conditions. Let's scroll down to the bottom, which is today. Select the same date range. I'm gonna create a backtest. Again, we have 130 signals with new code generated. I'm gonna close this, click the backtest, and right here I have another set of backtesting session. So for the description, again, I'm gonna go ahead and copy this. I'm gonna paste this and I'm gonna tell it at least red pairs unreversed. Okay, gonna click the code to copy. Gonna go back to my MetaTrader settings. Again, everything seems to be the same. Gonna make sure that all market watch symbols are present. Same starting dates. Today is the end date for this session. I'm gonna insert a new code and I'm gonna start the backtest and let's see what kind of results we will be getting. Now to sum it up for the context, what happened is that I basically took the original settings that the provider suggested. I've backtested that and it turned out to be red over time. Then I basically reversed everything and the results for the second session turned out to be a little bit profitable. So now I'm taking this second session, which was basically overall reversed, and I'm gonna unreverse only the pairs that turned out to be red. So in theory, these settings should provide me much better results. Now I'm not sure what kind of results I will be getting, but before y'all crap your pants from the excitement, make sure to understand that this is pure theory and hypothetical. I'm not even sure that would work in real life, but hey, let's just do the numbers for fun. Okay, so this third backtesting session is now completed. I guess it will be the last one for this video. Well, I'm not even sure that the backtester took the reversal of the red pairs into the account because the MetaTrader shows me the red lines. But hey, let's try and watch the results. So if I go ahead and click refresh, yes, we've got the same results. So basically the backtester did not take into the account unreversing all these red pairs. Now it is a bit shame that the TS Copier backtester did not pick up the unreversed specific pairs. So since this was my first time doing the settings and conditions just like that, there is a possibility that I may have missed something. I'm gonna type into the support and let's them know what happened. Maybe I will find something that I've missed perhaps. If I did, I will make sure to make another video about it. But anyway, this whole video is basically just goes to show why I am so hung up on the reversals, and all the time I keep challenging that. Because basically the backtester always shows me the better results when I do the backtesting in reversal. So we have to understand that there is a probable way to turn the losing signal provider or a losing strategy into the profitable one. Now another thing, should we trust the backtester? I mean, it is a software, and can it make mistakes, or does it make mistakes? Now I personally cannot answer to you that directly, but what I personally know, first things first, if I go ahead and Google Telegram signal Copier, one of the first results is basically this software that I am currently using. So this means that this software is basically the benchmark of this whole copy trading industry. So that must at least mean something. And the second thing I would like to point out, that if you do not actually trust any software for the backtesting, oh well, then you have to make yourself an Excel sheet and go ahead through all this Telegram chat, type in each trade, double check it against charts, and then you can determine undeniably whether this provider is actually profitable over time or not. Well, that's the reality of it. Anyway, I think I'm done with this video. It's getting pretty long. I hope you've enjoyed this. Make sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe. That means so much to me. I hope I will see you in the next one. Bye.